Hello, this is Brad Wiseman. You're listening to Real Estate and You. We have a special guest here. We're going to talk more about mortgages today. And I know you probably think, oh my gosh, how much more can we talk about mortgages? Well, you know what? There's a lot going on in the mortgage world today, and I want to make sure that we get all the details out to you every single week when we can. All right. So we have a fresh new guest here with us today. His name is Mike Bauer from AnnieMac Mortgage. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Doing great. That's good to hear. It's good to hear. Now you're fresh back you were out somewhere skiing recently.
Yes.
Where were you at?
Park City, Utah.
Park City, Utah. You almost said Park City Mall, didn't you? That would have been weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, where do you ski at Park City Mall? Park City, Utah. I was out there. It is a beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. So any snow?
They got a ton of snow over the holidays, but it hadn't snowed for a little bit.
And
I hadn't skied in 32 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Are your knees okay?
My knees are fine. My ribs actually.
Really? Your ribs?
Sore. Yeah. Still.
Why your ribs, you think?
Well,
from turning.
When you fall really hard,
it hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts.
And it sometimes lingers for a week or so.
Well, this is very ironic, and we're going to have to chat about this for a second. I'm going skiing Saturday.
Okay.
For the first time in 15 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to see if my ribs hurt after this experience. We're going up to Bear Creek, so we're just staying local.
Okay.
You know, we're not going to Park City. We're going local, but I'm gonna get lessons again just in case.
Yeah.
And the kids are going, and my wife is going. So funny story. My wife went skiing years ago without me. It's before I met her.
Yep.
And this is with a past relationship. And they go up to Vermont and they get out there, and basically what they did is pushed her.
Yep.
You know, and said, okay, find your wings on the way down, kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. On her way down, fell, tore her ACL, never skied again.
Yep.
Now she's skiing this Saturday. So I'm hoping her knee stays intact and everything is good. So that's funny though. But I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad you didn't go over any triple diamonds or anything like that.
No, I stayed on the green runs.
Very good.
Were terrifying to
me.
I
bet in Park City it's a little different than here.
Yeah. But by the end, I could see how this could be fun if I got good at it, but
that's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it was.
I'm alive.
That's good. That's good. So let's get into, I know you weren't thinking about mortgages much when you were out there, but we're going to talk about mortgages now because you're back and ready to go. So you had a couple topics here that you wanted to talk about, and what's the Fed rate? I mean, there's a lot of, chatter and stuff about these Fed rates going up. And I just wanted to get your take on that. What does it mean for mortgages? What does it mean for our economy coming up when it comes to mortgages?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so there's the big buzz right now is that the Fed has to step in. Inflation's starting to get out of control. So what the Fed usually does is they raise the federal funds rate, which is the rate that banks lend each other money at. Right now it's like 0. Right?
Yeah.
So they met yesterday, and nobody really knew what they were going to do. They had a meeting, and then they basically said, we're not going to touch it right now.
Okay.
So they didn't change it yesterday.
Okay.
But
they're going to.
They're going to. Everyone's anticipating that they probably will raise it in March. But they also talked about they're going to ease out of buying mortgage-backed securities. So
what does that mean? Yeah. That is one we hear all the time. Explain what that means.
Yeah. So when COVID started, there was a crazy amount of uncertainty in lending and the economy and all that stuff. So the Fed took a stance at that point, and they stepped in and they started buying mortgage-backed securities to kind of cool everything off and make sure that the banks were still lending, everything was going to go as planned. So their plan is to ease out of that. Yeah. Now they haven't really done it yet, but that they're talking about, let's take this time from now till March that we're going to sort of ease away from purchasing of bonds. And then they'll probably start raising rates. I heard this morning on my way here, probably we're looking at about 5 interest rate hikes for this year. Which
now that's for the Fed rate or for the interest rates, for what we're talking about, mortgage rates. You're talking about Fed rate.
The Fed rate, right? So
so where does that end up going to? What does that end up putting us at?
It could be somewhere between 1.25% and 1.5%.
Which is still nothing.
Nothing.
It's nothing. That's still because isn't historically speaking, the Fed rate it's still really low.
It's extremely low.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Amazing. And that's why our savings accounts are basically
Zero.
nothing. Yeah. It's like a 0.0025% return.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, it's nothing. That's interesting. So now that they're going to do that, so is that going to now start? Now those go up.
Yep.
Does that mean every time that goes up that you're going to see an interest rate hike on mortgages?
No. So first of all, the minute that the market knows that this is happening or this is going to happen, they're already doing it, right? They're already the bond market is already adjusting to basically this happening. So it's already baked in. They're already kind of anticipating that all this stuff is going to happen,
Right.
and so it happens. Some days, because the bond market has already anticipated one thing, and then when they come out, the market might react to that they didn't raise it as much as they thought, and then rates would go down that day. Like it, so it's you would watch the news and it says, oh, the Fed raised rates 0.5%, and everyone thinks the mortgage rates have done that, but that's not true.
Right, it's speculation.
Sometimes they were anticipating a 0.75% hike, and rates actually would go down that day, and it doesn't make any sense.
And then the market's happy. Right. Or things are good then at that point.
Correct.
A lot of it's, I guess, like people thinking, oh, this is what's going to happen. So the market prepares for the worst. And then the worst doesn't happen, or it's just not quite as bad as they thought. And then everything kind of backs off.
Yes.
So it's a lot of like just knee jerk reaction kind of stuff, it seems like, which is typical of our worlds. So basically Fed rates are going to go up. We know that. And actually it's good. I mean, that they can't be this low forever.
Right.
I mean, there has to be a little bit of interest built in for the Feds. I mean, it has to be money built in.
Correct.
So go ahead. What else can you talk to me about that?
I mean, so interest rates have been going up.
Yep. Saw that.
Since January 3rd, the rates have been going up. And, if you looked at the what the projections were, we look at the National Association of Realtors says one thing, the Mortgage Bankers Association puts their 2 cents in. They all had anticipated that by the end of 2022, that rates would be about 3.75.
That's exactly what I saw. Yeah. And it's funny, like I know we also look at that Keeping Current Matters, which is another, also Inman News, there's all these publications, there's all these news places that basically do real estate and mortgage rates and stuff. And they all said the 3.7, but the funny thing is we're already there, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah. That was supposed to be at the end of the year.
Yeah, I know. It's already started.
It took like 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So what does that mean? We're going to go up higher? What do you think?
It's a great question.
I'm not going to hold you to this. Just saying.
No, I mean, all of the forecasts were saying it was going to be high 3s, maybe 4, but maybe it will go higher. I mean, inflation is a real thing.
Absolutely is.
And it's one of those things that isn't good for anything. It isn't good for the economy. They got to slow it down. And this is one of the tools that they use to slow it down is increasing rates. So, so yeah, we'll see.
It's like kind of putting the brakes on things, right? In a way, I think there's so much money that went out from stimulus and things like that. There's so much money went out and it devalued the dollar bill. And this is what happens. We get inflation.
Correct.
So it's gotta equalize and hopefully it will. So the other one, you had on your list here, inflation. I mean, so we're going to experience that this year. Both interest rates. We've been experiencing inflation on house prices. I can tell you that much.
Right.
Last year we did 11 point some percent. I'm not sure what you're hearing on the mortgage end of things, what your industry is saying. What are they seeing on mortgage wise as far as increases in house prices? Do you guys look at that stuff?
We do. I saw some things year over year. 18%, 20%, depending on
last year
or
coming up.
Last year.
Okay. Yes. We saw that too.
So I think with higher rates, they're talking about maybe slowing that down a little bit. So maybe you won't see as much of an increase, but still anticipating that it's going to be a robust real estate market. Values will continue to go up. They have to. I mean, they almost have to with the amount of inventory that's out there, which is crazy.
Housing shortage.
Do you know what, how many homes are for sale right
today? Well, last week it was 291. I did check it over the weekend. And it was I think we're around 320. So it is inching up, which is a really good sign. It was the lowest I've seen it was like 290 something, which was about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
But I think we're at 320, 3 something. But that's everything. That's new construction Sometimes those models are not really built; they're just in there.
Yep.
That is city, okay. That is everything. So you start backing some of that stuff out, and it's as far as just regular, homes. It's not. There's not a whole
many.
lot.
Not
Yeah.
many
So
percent.
we got to see that number come up. Last year, the highest that I saw, Mike, and I don't know if you heard about this, but around July or August, I saw it got up to around 500. It just tipped 500. It was like 5 something. And that is still extremely low.
Yeah.
I mean, we're used to, being in the business, it'll be 30 years this year in July. We're used to 1,500, 2,000 inventory at any given time.
Right. How many, roughly how many homes sell per month on average in the area?
In this area, what's funny? I don't know that stat. I just know that we're at a 0.6. So basically, the average sale time is it's like
2 weeks.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's about a little over 2 weeks. Yeah, it's 0.6 of a month. Yeah. When a normal healthy market is around 3 months.
Yeah.
Which basically is a good balance between buyer seller market. That's when you get basically a good even market.
So you probably need 1,500 homes.
You're about right. Yeah.
And there's 291.
And it's a little bit of a problem, a little bit of an inventory problem. And that's what I'm saying. That's why every time we do the show, no matter who I talk to, we talk about inventory. And people probably get sick and tired of hearing about inventory, but that is what it's at hand. And that's why the prices in Berks County went up 11.2% or whatever it was last year. So let's keep moving on. Affordability.
Yep.
I mean, that's one of the things. And with rates going up, that changes.
Yes. So I looked at these numbers about a month ago when rates were like 3.25. Now they're like 3.75, let's say.
Right.
Okay. So if you looked at 15 years ago, so 2006, pretty good market right before, the market was hot.
Yeah.
The average home where I was looking at, which was the Lehigh Valley area, was 185,000. That was the median sale.
Not much different than here
at the time. Okay.
Yeah.
But interest rates were 6%.
Okay. Interesting.
Yep. So if I do the math on that and, assuming a 5% down payment, 6%, the monthly principal and interest payment was $1,104.
Got it.
So since then, the values have gone up like 40 some percent. And so now that same median home would be selling for like 240, 250
or more,
something. So I use 260.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good number. That's a good number.
So 260,000 at 3.75 is $1,209.
Wow.
So it's like,
wow,
it's $100 more.
Isn't that crazy?
And then you take it,
but that just shows you interest rate buying power.
Correct.
It just shows people right there the buying power of what an interest rate does.
Yeah.
It doesn't alleviate you from buying. It just changes what you're going to buy.
Right. But if you just looked at, in your mind, you're thinking like, I can afford 180, 200. And now you're looking at 260 and you talk yourself out of it. It's really not much more than it used to cost a long time ago.
It is, because you got to look at the monthly payment.
Yeah. And not only that, but in that amount of time, so from 2006 to now, if you look at the U.S. Census Bureau, they track like the median income.
Yeah.
This is U.S. wide. I'm not sure if we drill down to Wyoming or Berks County or whatever, but it's also gone up 41%. Like it's
crazy.
So the incomes have increased 41%.
So it's even.
But the monthly payment to buy that same median home has only gone up 10%.
Yeah. So basically it's more affordable today.
It is.
To buy than it was back in 2006.
It is, but it's so skewed because you see the prices and you're like, oh my God, I would never pay that. That's just way too high. But you got to really
it's all relative.
Drill down and see what the actual payment is.
Yeah.
And I think you'll be surprised. And then think about what's going up even faster is rent.
Oh, rent is actually crazy. Yeah. I mean, you look at like around here, like a 1-bedroom apartment, you're probably looking at, if it's the fancy, granite and all that stuff, you could be looking at $1,600, $1,700 a month.
Right.
And if you're looking at 2 bedrooms or more, it starts to really go up there.
Yeah.
So rent has actually gone up. We looked at these numbers before. The rent has gone up more so than purchasing has, if you look at it that way.
Yeah.
And that's not going to stop. Plus, you're paying somebody else's mortgage instead of yourself, instead of your own. So it's not so good. So we have, let's go into the second mortgages. And then we have one other thing too, which is I really definitely want to get into. And we're going to go a little over time because I want to go into some of these things. Let's do the let's do the cash offer strategies first, in case we don't have enough time for second mortgages.
Yeah.
And we could always grab second mortgages next time.
Yeah.
Um,
So, if you've been in the real estate market in the last 12, 24 months, what you know and understand is that you find this house, it's the perfect home.
Yep.
You go in, and you find out that there's multiple offers. And when we say multiple,
10,
it might be
15.
10, 15, not 2 or 3.
No, multiple's a different thing these days.
And everybody knows
Yeah.
that there's multiple offers. So everybody's coming in with their best offer. They're not messing around anymore. No one's offering lower than the sale price, which is why, the average percent list price to received is like 101%,
amazing, right?
102%, something like that.
That's actually the norm.
Yeah. So, so people are trying to come up with different ways to succeed. And, when I'm talking to customers, some people are trying to figure out, how do we make a cash offer? Some people have the cash.
Yep.
Some people are literally going to like 401k,
Yep.
and they're borrowing that. And then they have I think they have like 90 days to pay it back.
Yep.
Put it back, and they're
without
hoping maybe
penalties
their
and
house
things.
will sell
Yeah.
or something like that. Just to make a cash offer and win.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that AnnieMac is doing is they've actually created a program that they're kind of partnering up with the people and allowing them to make a cash offer. So they'll come in and say, okay, we've pre-qualified these people,
Yep.
and they want to make an offer on this home for this amount of money, and they'll actually allow them to make a cash offer. They'll basically buy the house for them in cash, and then
Amazing.
turn around and sell it right back to them, and then they get a mortgage at that point. But to the seller, it's something that's
it's already done.
And it's like, it seems extreme, but like it's a tool that we have available that I think is may take some get some traction over the year now.
When does that start? Are you doing those now?
So we're doing it in New Jersey right now.
Okay, test market.
Testing it out.
Yep.
The reason that we're doing it in New Jersey is because there's no transfer tax in New Jersey.
Gotcha.
So, we're doing a couple transactions here. We're buying the house from the seller first, and then we're turning around and selling it.
Yeah.
So there's like 3 transfer taxes in there.
Yeah.
So we'd have to
figure that out.
Yeah,
because there's money.
So there's going to be a cost.
Yeah, of course.
In
Everything comes with a cost.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, if it means, here's the thing, if it means that you get the house.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times also when an offer is cash, let's just back up. If I have 2 offers, one's conventional, one's cash. Okay. The conventional one realistically could actually be higher.
Yep.
By $10,000 or $5,000. And I can tell you right now, if I'm representing the seller and I got a cash offer and there's a $5,000, maybe $8,000 difference, I'm telling them to take the cash.
Right.
Because things can change when you're getting a mortgage.
Yep.
And you could lose a job. Something could happen. When it's cash, it's definitely a little different. So therefore, if you have to pay a couple transfer taxes or a couple fees, you're really only at where the conventional person was anyway.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
So that's the way I look at it. There's obviously going to be a lot of details and things that are going to go on in that. And what you can do maybe when you come back is, as that progresses and you actually start seeing them happen in Pennsylvania, maybe we can throw some scenarios up on the screen and show you how it really worked for somebody. What was the real cost, and what was the benefit? That's the other thing you have to look at. What's the benefit? The benefit is you get a house.
Yep.
And in today's market, that's huge.
Right.
I
mean, and some people are paying way over list price. Right. And
Yes.
maybe in this scenario, you may not have to.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a cost, but it'll also there's another program where they'll allow the people to buy now and then sell their house. Like some people are, I have a house to sell.
Yeah.
I mean, this market's so crazy that if you have a house to sell,
you
may not win because you're making your new offer contingent upon you
Absolutely.
selling your house, and now the seller's in the business of selling your house.
And what's funny,
they don't want to deal with
that happens a lot.
Yeah.
If you throw a contingency of a house sale contingency on an offer today, there's so many things today that are, if it's on an offer, that become like this black cloud.
I know.
That years ago be like, no, that's great. That's a great offer. It's a shame because there's a lot of people, FHA, VA, that are not able to purchase as easily today as they were before in the past. So go ahead. Let's go ahead and give me a couple more points that you have here, or a couple of other things and we're going to have to wrap it up.
Yeah, sounds good. So, I mean, it sounds like we're we're really selling this real estate market as being this amazing experience, and like,
Yeah, it does.
but
Yeah, it's still a good market.
So, the silver lining
Yeah.
is, why do you want to buy a house? Because look, I mean, you probably would have made
Oh my gosh.
15 to 20% if you would have bought last year.
Absolutely.
It's, is it going to continue? It looks like it is going to continue.
Oh yeah. I think we're seeing, I mean, the numbers that I look at are 7 to 8%. So
Yeah.
jump in now, because last year, if you didn't jump in, you lost 11%.
Yep.
It's like anything. The best time to buy real estate, they always say best time to buy real estate is right now.
Correct.
Because we know the market right now. We know what was behind us, but we don't know what's forward.
Yep.
So buy right now, because typically it's an upside from there.
Correct.
Typically,
Yeah.
So
I mean, the equity that people are making. I know there was a slide that we had on equity with
do you have that slide? We'll throw it up
the
quick.
United States. So, I mean,
that's a good slide.
So on average in the U.S., homeowners made $56,700 last year in the increased in values on national average. In Pennsylvania, which is probably what our people care about, $30,000 on average.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Talk about an investment.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not making that anywhere else. Right. Amazing. Awesome.
So that's why we go through all this pain, but.
So hopefully you're going to come back and see me again sometime, maybe in a month or so, and we'll go over more stuff. I love the detail, love the information, love that you definitely know your stuff, and it's good to hear. And I think I'll be seeing you in Florida in a couple of weeks, actually, right? Yeah.
Yes.
We're both heading down there. We got the Keller Williams convention coming up called Family Reunion. I'm looking forward to that. And I want to thank you for coming out with all the information, man. I appreciate it. You're very welcome. All right, there you go. Mike Bauer, first time on the show from AnnieMac Mortgage. And man, talk about a lot of information. It's unbelievable how much information. So so we're going to be bringing in some more people next week and the week after. And Hugo's going to get this thing going even better than it was before. Right, Hugo?
That's right.
All right, cool, man. See you later.